Dianne Feinstein passes away at the age of 90. Newsom to appoint successor. All right, so this is breaking news again. Dianne Feinstein passes away. Absolutely insane. I mean, despite the fact that she was very old, it didn't appear as if she was in good health. Obviously, I didn't suspect this. Hat tip Breitbart, Feinstein was nearing the end of her 6th Senate term after previously serving as mayor of San Francisco. The California senator stepped down from her perch atop the powerful Judiciary Committee due to poor health and political pressure after bouts with illness had prevented her from reporting to work, most notably for 3 months in 2022, and reports of her diminished capacity, including her inability to remember her colleagues' names. The senator's death comes as Congress is barreling towards a shutdown as government funding ends on September 30th. That would be tomorrow. Governor Gavin Newsom will appoint her successor. He has said he would appoint an interim senator in the event of Feinstein's death. Listen, that Senate seat will be up for grabs relatively soon during an election. Larry Elder should go for it. In my opinion. Kamala Harris might want to go for it because she's not going to be president. I want to talk about that, guys. The more headlines that pop up when it comes to California Governor Gavin Newsom, the more I am convinced. I went from being completely convinced to some of you convincing me that, okay, Biden was going to hold on. I'm not convinced that Biden can hold on. I'm simply not convinced that Biden can hold on. And at this point, I'm not convinced that Democrats want him to hold on. I know there were headlines I was reading just yesterday where they were saying, listen, it may be too late. I think this was Nate Silverman from 538. It might be too late for Joe Biden not to be the nominee. Au contraire, mon frere. I've shared this information before. I will share it again. It is not too late for Biden to exit. All right. And I think the Democrat Party wants to do that. Again, Senator Dianne Feinstein passes away at the ripe old age of 90 years old. All right. So now I want to get into some Biden corruption. And I don't want to overplay this. I read an article on AM Greatness from Eric Lindrum. He's also with the Right Take podcast and writes for American Greatness. Check him out. He does some great work there. And I do believe that the Republican Party has to be careful when it comes to the Biden impeachment inquiry. We'll get into it. But I do have a timeline of Biden corruption. I don't have enough time, quite frankly, in this show to connect all the dots. However, in each hour, I will mention some of the things that have occurred when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States under Barack Obama, when some of this corruption began, and I will try to wrap it up throughout this entire show here. So make sure you stay tuned for all 3 hours because I'm going to fill you in on the Biden corruption. However, Eric does have a point. We have to be careful. The Republican Party has to be careful that we don't oversaturate this issue. When you have James Comer coming out, his information should be emphatic. It should be definitive, and we need information that is going to lead us to the big guy. This is going to be very, very important. Thus far, what we've gotten is circumstantial evidence. I suspect that there are some bombshells in waiting. However, the DOJ, the deep state, are trying to keep that, are attempting to keep that information from the House Oversight Committee, from James Comer. I suspect eventually we will be able to make that connection. So we're going to get into all things Biden corruption. Let me say this too. Senator Menendez should not resign. If I'm Senator Menendez, corruption in the Democrat Party is a resume enhancement. I don't understand why they would want him to resign. These people are corrupt as all get out. All he did was accept $480,000 cash, some gold bars, a Mercedes C300. This guy is a piker compared to the Bidens. I don't understand why they want him to resign. This should be a resume enhancement for the Democrat Party. Having said that, I can say that I think there's another Republican that should run against Senator Bob Menendez, and that is Chris Christie. I think Chris Christie needs to go ahead and get his behind out of the GOP presidential primary, and I think he should run against Senator Bob Menendez or whomever the Democrats would like to replace him with. Obviously, the Democrats want to replace him immediately. They want to throw him under the bus because the elections are coming up. And it's as simple as that. They don't believe that he could win at this point. New Jersey was a closer race than anyone expected in 2022. And so Democrats are a little concerned. Great opportunity for Chris Christie to step in. In my opinion, Chris Christie has no business in the presidential primary. I know he's polling okay in New Hampshire. The problem with New Hampshire, it is an open primary. So it's a bunch of Republicans. It's a bunch of moderates and Democrats that are involved politically, that are answering polls. All right. But that's a race in which Chris Christie could probably run in and maybe even win. I know his polling was bad when he left as governor of New Jersey, but listen, time heals wounds. This will be a great opportunity for Chris Christie to make himself useful. I don't think he's being useful in the Republican debate. I'm running through a lot of stuff. I know I'm going to get back to the Biden crime family and all things Biden crime family. I'm also going to be talking about the border issue. I think the border issue is a very big deal. I'm not convinced that we have Republicans in the House that are going to fight the fight on border security. I'm really concerned about this, and I want to talk to you extensively about illegal immigration, and not just the things that you'll hear on mainstream media, even on conservative outlets, but the cultural change that will occur with all of the illegal immigration. I'm also going to challenge people of faith that want to contend that we should be compassionate when it comes to illegal immigration. No, sir, no, ma'am, you're completely wrong. And if you're a Christian, if you're Catholic, if you're a Jew, and you say that I'm compassionate, this is what Jesus would do. As a matter of fact, Jesus was a refugee. I would urge you to stop using the Bible out of context in order to allow lawlessness to come across our border, because that is exactly what it is. And so for those of you that are people of faith, those of you that do subscribe to the Christian faith, or you're a Catholic or a Jew, I encourage you to keep on listening to the Mike Gallagher show, because I want to break this down. Jesus was not a refugee. This is very important because I've got some news for you. Biden's DHS is sending millions in taxpayer money to NGOs facilitating illegal immigration. I've got so much I want to get into. It's insane.